Hi guys, happy Monday. It is a fantastic morning in the UK right now. It is a bank holiday, so it is the third day of my weekend and I've had a very relaxing weekend and hopefully today will be no different. So this week we are reading Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Maniscalco. I picked this up yesterday and I am 78 pages into it. Very naively, for some reason, thought that I would pick this up yesterday, be able to finish it and then start this vlog reading a new book. That quickly went out the window when I saw the size of this font. Like, hello? It's tiny. It actually like hurts my eyes and gives me a headache to read it. It's so small. I don't think it's on KU though. Otherwise I would download it on Kindle Unlimited, read it in whatever font size I like. I have this Waterstones exclusive edition paperback. I read the first Kingdom of the Wicked book by Kerry Maniscalco. That's like a YA series centered around a witch and like Prince of Wrath or something like that. It has like the 7 deadly sins in it, I'm pretty sure. Never finished that series. This is Kerry Maniscalco's first adult book and we're looking at the Prince of Envy and our main character Camilla, and it's set in a Regency time period, also a little bit fantasy, and I'm really enjoying what I've read so far. I'm still kind of waiting for everything to kick off. We know that the Prince of Envy is involved in these kind of like supernatural games, and we know that he stands to gain a lot from these games and lose a lot from these games, and we know that each time he completes a clue he gets given a new clue, and the clue that he is on right now is Camilla, and he needs Camilla to paint a painting for him. And Camilla won't do it, so he's currently trying to figure out how to like woo her and win her over so she'll paint this painting for him. And that's kind of like where we're at. I'm very intrigued by this book. I have been waiting to read it all morning. I've had some stuff to get done, and I also have a little surprise for you guys because my parents dropped Marvin off this morning and we have Marvin this week. We are dog sitting again this week, so we get lots of fluffy doggy content. He's downstairs with Jack right now because if Jack's home, that dog's not going to choose me. Jack is his favourite person in the entire world. But I will show you him later on, and we're going to start reading this book. Well, we've already started, but we're going to continue reading this book this week. You really haven't missed anything, so you can pretty much just count this is a full book this week. And I'm in a very mood readery portion of the month. I've pretty much finished my TBR. I think there's one book on my TBR that I've just ruled out that I'm not going to read. Now I'm just mood reading for the rest of the month. So I hope you guys enjoy this vlog. If you like vlogs and you like seeing mine, then please feel free to subscribe. It would be very nice of you to do that. I do post weekly vlogs. There isn't a week that goes by where I don't vlog what I'm reading, what I think of it, my thoughts. Last week we read When the Moon Hatched, so feel free to go check out that reading vlog of that book. And we're continuing with the romantasy and reading Throne of the Fallen. And I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. Good morning guys. I am still reading Throne of the Fallen. I am 306 pages in, which is just over halfway. I really am enjoying this book. It's just like kind of a lot, like there's just a lot of like content. The writing's really small. I feel like I'm just really making really slow progress with it, but it's really good. The romance in this is just very addictive, and I really like the fact that we have essentially a standalone romantasy. I feel like that is kind of rare, and it's really nice to know that everything is gonna like wrap up in this book, or mostly wrap up in this book. There is a sequel called Throne of Secrets, I think, but that follows a different prince, so I think this is going to work kind of like a contemporary romance series where they're interconnected standalones, and I think that is really interesting for a romantasy. And Kerry Maniscalco is an excellent writer. This is an amazing adult debut. I was very unsure about how she would kind of handle the spice after writing a YA trilogy kind of in the same universe, but it's worked out really well, and I kind of feel like maybe the YA trilogy should have always been adult. There's little like nods to them. I think I'm missing most of them because I haven't read the full trilogy, but I think if you have, then it's really fun to see those little nods and Easter eggs. This series reminds me a lot in its structure really of like the Kings of Sin series. So if you guys have been wanting to read the Kings of Sin series but you really don't like contemporary romance, then I think Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Maniscalco is kind of a great alternative because it's basically the same thing. The Kings of Sin series is a contemporary take on the Princes of Sin, and each like male billionaire in each book of that series represents a different sin. In Throne of the Fallen we actually follow the princes of these sins because it's a romantasy, so anything goes. In Throne of the Fallen we are following the Prince of Envy, and he is involved in a game to try to save his court, and one of the clues to this game leads him to Camilla, and Camilla is very fascinating to him and he can't quite work her out, and she ends up being dragged into this adventure with him, and because he is the Prince of Envy there ends up being like a lot of jealousy. They really push each other using jealousy. I think it's really interesting that his sin is kind of involved in the story and adds to it and just adds to that like tension. I think it's really fun and I really enjoy how that's being used. And all in all, I'm just really enjoying this book. I just don't feel the need to kind of like binge read it or rush through it, and even when I read like 200 pages at a time it just feels like I'm not getting any closer to the end. But I also don't want it to end because I can't remember the last— I can actually. I haven't had this much fun reading a romantasy since Nectar of the Wicked by Ella Fields, so I don't really want it to end, but also I do because I want to read or at least start another book this week. We're currently at my desk bright and early. I'm trying to get back into my writing routine. It's not going very well, but we're trying, we're making an effort. I have a Marvin. Hi. Yeah, we're dog sitting him for another couple of days. He is very good, to be honest. He just lies in his bed. Like whilst I'm working, he's just down here chilling with me. So that's my day really, just up early to do a bit of writing, work obviously, and I will catch up with you when I can get some more reading done. I'm kind of obsessed with this book. It's really good. I think I'm gonna give it 5 stars. Hi guys, I am on my lunch break, ready to— oh, that got bright. Ready to relax and do some reading of Throne of the Fallen. I am so ready to lose myself in this world. I feel like I'm having a day. Marvin just wants to play and I don't have the energy to play with him right now, which is why I know that I couldn't be a pet owner full time, because I just feel too selfish and irresponsible right now to like full time give a pet what they need, because the last thing I want to do is play. So I'm not going to play with him now, but I will play with him after work. Like he will get some kind of play in today and I'll give him some enrichment activities. So even if I'm feeling lazy, he still gets like something out of his day. But yeah, all I want to do is like read and not have any responsibilities. I spent the first part of my lunch break making some content for my Bookstagram. I don't regret my decision to join the book community in the slightest. It's given me way more than it has taken from me. Like it's been a fantastic opportunity and I'm so glad that I actually took it and went for it and continue to put the work in, because the creative outlet it gives me is unmatched, and I didn't think I was a creative person until my therapist pointed out that this is just what my creative outlet is. Like being creative doesn't necessarily mean drawing, like this can count as creative too, but nobody warns you like how every little thing becomes about making content. Like I had some books arrive today, so I like filmed an unboxing of that. I'm thinking of books that I want to read in the autumn so I can make loads of content about. TBRs for you guys for autumn, TBRs for myself for autumn. Every little thing about being a reader ends up turning into content, and it's really fun. It's really fun, but it does mean that on my lunch break from work today I spent like a good chunk of it making content and not relaxing, if that makes sense. So I'm very ready to actually read my book now and breathe for a second, and then I'll finish work and probably do some more content creation-y stuff, but hopefully we'll be in a better mood. I haven't read a single page of Throne of the Fallen since I updated you this morning because my morning was about writing. I did get the words done that I needed to write. They were terrible words, but I'm really looking forward to when I can edit but I'm not letting myself edit until the first draft is done, because otherwise I will never ever finish a first draft. I have gone 24 years never finishing a draft, and I used to write fan fiction all the time. Never finished a single one of them, so we're gonna finish this one. If it kills me, I'm gonna finish a draft of this one. Let me give you guys some Marvin content, because I know it's why you're all here. Hi. I'm on page 490 and I'm gonna finish this book tonight if it kills me. This is gonna be my last update before I finish it, and then I will update you tomorrow on my final thoughts. I do apologise that I've only read one book this week, but I think I'm gonna give this 4.5 stars. This has like blown me away beyond my wildest expectations. I am in like the last 50 pages of this book, and there's still like some big like mystery that I am desperate to know and haven't worked out yet. It's kind of rare for me to read romantasy and not know the twists, and yes, there have been some twists that I've guessed. There's some that I really haven't and have really shocked me, and I love the pacing of the romance in this book. I don't think I would necessarily call it a slow burn, but it is a slower pace, and I love how been paced. Like, it's just, I really believe like in the feelings between these characters, because I feel like I've spent so much time with them, and like they built kind of there was like a sexual tension between them that felt very real. I can't think of the word. Genuine, I guess, is the word that I'm thinking of. And then they were kind of in this like forced alliance, and the pacing was just so good, and I don't really have thought to articulate because wow, I'm still so shocked. But I want, like, when I finish this book and can update you tomorrow on my final thoughts, I'm hoping there'll be some brain cells working up in here, because all I have right now is, oh my god, the drama. And it really has been like plot on exciting events the whole way through. I will say this book has felt really long, but not necessarily in that it's boring. It's just felt really long in that I think Kerry Maniscalco has used her words really well, and because this is a standalone romantasy, I guess, it is just chock full of events. Like, none of the words in this book are really wasted words or filler words, so it feels like I've been reading it for so long, and then I've spent so long with these characters and know them so well. And really, I've only read 400 pages, and hats off to her for that, because it's felt very exciting and easy to read, despite the fact that I feel like I've read so much. And also, I think it's very impressive to write a romantasy that feels really strong on the fantasy and also feels really strong on a somewhat slow burn romance. And it's 450, maybe 500 page book. That's impressive. I think I will be giving this 4.5 stars because I'm so obsessed with this. I cannot wait for the next book to come out now. I will be reading that as soon as humanly possible. Also, it's 9 o'clock and it's dark outside. We are like officially like past summertime now. Like, that's mad. It hasn't been dark at 9 o'clock in a while, and it really took me by surprise. I went to let Marvin out to go to the toilet and I was like, oh my god, it's dark. But it's just adding to the reading vibe right now, and I'm gonna finish this book. I'm scared to finish it. I'm desperate to know what is going on because there's still answers that I need. I'm dying for the answers. Oh my god, I need to finish this right now. Okay, it may have taken me the entire week, but I did finish Throne of the Fallen, and honestly I think it taking me the whole week really paid off because I gave this 4.5 stars, and genuinely if this like stays with me then I will be bumping it up to a 5 stars because this was an excellent romantasy book. If you want a romantasy novel that actually has plot and like really good plot, this is that. This is like 500 pages, but it is very worth it and it reads very well, very addictive, just what you want from a romantasy, to be honest. So this follows our main characters, the Prince of Envy and Camilla. Prince of Envy, we know he is taking part in this kind of mythical like fae game, and he has everything to gain from this game and everything to lose, and he needs to win it. And one of his clues is Camilla, and when he goes to Camilla and attempts to get her to paint for him, once he manages to get Camilla to paint the object he needs her to paint, that will lead him to his next clue so he can go on with the game and so on and so forth. Now this is all taking place in a Regency time period. I think it's Regency, do correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like it takes place in a historical time period. We know that Camilla is not quite what she seems. She's definitely not a normal heroine for the time period, and she ends up kind of being sucked into these games with Envy and working with Envy, and there's just so much plot here that is really interesting and kind of kept surprising me. There's like so many details that you kind of forget, so then when you get answers to them you're like, oh, I kind of forgot that was even mentioned. Like, it's so well thought out, and every little thing that is said, there isn't anything that just means nothing in this book. Everything like leads to something and has some bearing on the plot further down the line, and because it's so well thought out and there's just so much going on, it keeps catching you by surprise a little bit, and I really love this. I found it really hard to predict exactly what was going to happen. This is a standalone romantasy as well, which I think is quite rare, and I love knowing that everything was going to be wrapping up in this one book and I would get to see like a happily ever after in this one book. I will 110% be picking up Throne of Secrets when it comes out later this year, which follows a different Sin prince. Honestly, was massively like blown away by how good this was. I really wasn't expecting it. I've read some Kerry Maniscalco before and really enjoyed that too, but her previous work is young adult. This is her debut adult book, and I just wasn't really sure how it was going to translate, but after reading this I can't believe Kerry Maniscalco ever wrote young adult, because she was so good at writing spice and these really intricate plot lines, and I just can't imagine her not having these elements in previous books because she handled them so well, and like it's absolutely seasoned pro. I cannot wait for more books in this series because honestly, like 10 out of 10 romance and 10 out of 10 fantasy, it was so good. So I'm really happy that it took me all week to read this because I think I found a new like romantasy fave. I was going to try and read an entire book today. Today is the last day of August, and my plan was to see if I could like keep the vlog going and read an entire book today and add another book to my physical books read tally, but I think I've decided to not do that because I need a big like content creation filming day, cleaning day type of thing, and I would rather just wait until tomorrow and get started on my September TBR, because I run the risk of not finishing it today and then not being able to start my cozy autumnal reads tomorrow, which I'm so excited about. And my September TBR, which I have already filmed, is coming out on Wednesday, so stay tuned for all of the cozy fantasy books that I cannot wait for. I'm gonna wrap up the vlog right now. I don't think it is the longest vlog I've ever filmed. It's just been a bit of a weird week because of the bank holiday at the beginning of the week. It just meant that my whole schedule's been a bit thrown off and I felt really weird all week, but new romantasy fave, highly recommend this one. It is truly an incredible read and I've had a fantastic time with it, and I will probably not shut up about this book for a little while now. If you guys enjoyed this vlog, you would like to see more vlogs from me, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below and stay tuned for future content. I upload every single Wednesday and every single Sunday, so there is no shortage of bookish content here for you to enjoy, and I vlog every single week of my reading, so you guys will always get to see what I'm reading and how I'm finding it. I think it's fun. I love having this record of everything that I'm reading, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. It makes me feel like I have something to show at the end of the year for all the books that I read. Such a silly thing because nobody needs to have anything to show. Like, the fact that I read the books is something to show for it, but it just makes me feel, I don't know, some type of way about the fact that I have this record of all the books that I'm reading and how I found them. And I love getting to talk to you guys about those books too, because I don't really have anyone in my real life that I can talk to about books, so I love having like an online community where I get to vent some of the feelings that I have when I read 100+ books a year, because there ends up being too many thoughts in this head if I didn't have an outlet for them with you guys. So do feel free to subscribe, because I won't be stopping doing this anytime soon. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week, you're enjoying everything you are reading, and there are no reading slumps in your future, and I will see you for my next video. Bye guys.